Good evening and warm welcome to the program. Today we are going to see one specific topic related to purchasing or procurement, buying or sourcing, whatever you call. Especially in the modern day time, the management wants the guys working in purchasing to know some basic level of analytics, possibly to some extent using Excel. I will show you with the simple data set, especially for a large organization having multi-location and operating from a multiple countries. So there may be several issues in managing the spend. Spend means in such a large organization, the spend can be hundreds of millions of dollars. So the money will be leaking everywhere. So we need to control how the organization is spending. Even though many organizations they have corporate purchasing policy, it may not be possible that all the divisions or the functions are following the same. So let me demonstrate using sheet, of course, starting with Excel. Subsequently, we will see how far it is much easier when you are going to use Python and other tools, because in Excel, up to certain extent, it is possible. Then subsequently, it becomes a problem. Let me attach the Excel sheet right now, and this is the Excel sheet. This is with reference to spend of a large multinational organization. Of course, you can also get this data set when you Google up with the title spend analytics. You can see there are columns like commodity description, quantity, unit of measure, price, total purchase price, and is there a contract available? Is there a purchase order available? What is the vendor name, address? Like this, you have lot of data. Of course, if you see the number of records here, there are nearly 73,000 records are available. If you are a purchase guy, already something should be going in mind. What can be the insight from this data? Of course, you have to think in the terms of how to rationalize the purchasing and also optimize the number of vendors. You know, the large organization, there may be same product purchased by multiple division, possibly with multiple prices. Central corporate division might have a contract, but the regional division may not follow the contract, or they may purchase outside the contract, or sometimes they may release a purchase order, no purchase order. This is where we are trying to find some inner detail. Number one in this step of analysis is called major and tail. In a supply chain, we call ABC analysis. You know, 20% of the purchases contributes to 80% of the spend. Okay, we are trying to find out what are the 20%. Of course, if you are very much familiar with Excel and pivot table, it is easily possible. You can see I have organized this 73,000 item in a simple table. Of course, the number of item now comes to limited. You can see it comes to 6682. The reason is here I have made a pivot based on the item description. So there are same item is procured multiple times. That's why you are seeing a limited item here. And also I am summing up each of the item how much percentage, and of course you need some little more working in the pivot table. And you can see the first item alone contributes 5.93% of the total. Like this we can put a cumulative percentage. Okay, and then I am marking up to 80% of the procurement as the major purchase. You can see 80% it is done at 190 item, roughly out of 6,000 item contributes to 80% of the purchase. The idea is the focus of purchasing professional should be on this 80%, limited number of item, but the value is high. So this is one. You can do the analysis based on the commodity like this, or even you can do based on the vendor name. The same principle applies, that 20% of the vendor supply 80% of the item. I did the same pivot table, and you can see 80% is much. Here you can see less than around 150 vendors contribute to 80% of the purchases. Even in terms of commodity, you can work out. Of course, with the number of vendors, it is much lower. Of course, the focus of purchasing executive is to focus this high spend item in terms of rationalization or optimization or negotiation. All this will help if you are able to categorize the vendors. Okay, and also there is possible that we can take this to next level. For example, I have made a summary like this. Further analysis, like you have major and tail. Inside that major and tail, I have classified what is contract available and contract not available in both of the major and tail. And of course, in each of this, I am also classifying purchase order available or purchase order not available in all the category. Of course, you need some intermediate working to get this data. Of course, you call this as a hidden tail. There are certain things which is not easily visible. For example, you can see there are contract available but PO not available. Also contract available but PO is available. How someone can violate by releasing the purchase order without even though there is a contract but they are not utilizing, and still versus people do not follow the contract nor the purchase order. So if you scrutinize the detail inside, then you will get lot of input for cost rationalization. Of course, this could be a part of audit. Sometimes it's called maverick spending, or it could be also violation of purchases. So we can further drill down in this Excel. You can see item wise, you can dig into it and check what are the item where there is a contract available but PO not available. Of course, you can select whether contract not available, and in that you can still see what are purchase available and PO not available. Here in this sheet, you can see commodity wise. Of course, you can do that commodity wise and also vendor wise. In this example, you can see how many what are the specific commodity item, and for that there are 5 or 6 vendors, and where there is a violation. For example, this column talks about there is no purchase order but contract is available. So you are digging it to the depth and finding out what are the items for further investigation. Of course, this will not directly tell you why, what are the reason why the purchasing guys are deviating from the procedure. Of course, there is one more analysis possible called purchase price variance. In a multinational organization, multi-locational, if a multi location, they want the same item, but somehow they are not referring to the contract central from central purchasing. So each one is purchasing from a different price, same item, same model, possibly from the same vendor. Okay, this is called the purchase price variance. You can see some of the working out here. We are trying to find out what is the minimum value of such item and maximum value, and what is the variance. Of course, this gives lot of information for optimization and rationalization of the vendor. Okay, and also we can find out from this, if you let me enlarge here, I am trying to summarize how many orders, for example, single vendor, and how many orders we have released on a single vendor. In fact, you can see there are so many items where there is a single vendor and we are releasing multiple orders. Why this cannot be rationalized? Or maybe you can also see more than several vendors, or even you can see more than five vendors for same item, multiple orders. So here you can get lot of inputs for rationalization. Of course, this Excel is fine as long as you have such a limited data and you have a knowledge of using this pivot table. Possibly to set up this table, it may require few hours of working. On the other hand, if you have a knowledge on Python, then the things will be different. I have imported the file. Let me run all and show you. It can do lot of wonders. Apart from doing the same exercise, you can also do simulation. Okay, like making a pull down menu and getting the detail. Of course, you need not get scared with this Python code. If you know the basics of code, that is very much fine, because at the end you are supposed to utilize Python for your application. Okay, let us see what kind of result it is giving. For example, here, whatever I have shown Excel, when you run the code, it is giving classification between major and tail, and contract available or not available, what is the total value is given. Similarly, you can see order available or not in each of the category and what is the value. It is so easy in Python. You need not even look at the Excel sheet at this stage. Various kind of summarization. For example, here we have a vendor class and PO class. We were seeing in the Excel how many orders or how many vendors are there for a particular commodity, between 1 and 5, more than 5, or a single vendor. And PO, each of the vendor or commodity, how many POs we are releasing. This gives a lot of information, especially why do you have so many vendors, or why do you release so many single PO, or more than 12 PO or 10 PO, why there is no consolidation, why we cannot do a open order. There are a lot of things which we can do. And of course, here, as I was telling about the simulation, you can build this model and then you can select a particular vendor. Of course, in the bottom, you can see things are going to change when I change the details. Okay, it's going to show a kind of simulation. Of course, under this modeling, you can also import whatever data you need. Let me show you example here once again. So, depending upon whatever I am selecting here, it's going to show the revised list. It's more like a simulation. Under different condition, I want to check who are the vendors, what are the commodities, and what is the hidden tail. I have explained you hidden tail in the Excel. Same thing can be done here. It's more of an interactive format which you may not be able to do in Excel. Okay, though you may be expert in pivot table or advanced Excel, here you can do much more wonders if you learn Python and other application. Of course, here even the knowledge of machine learning, artificial intelligence may not be required. These are basic Python using which we do exploratory data analysis. Of course, by using some simulation tools, we can get this details. Okay, so this is part of our program where we do something called supply chain analytics or data science for supply chain and logistic. Of course, here purchasing is also included. You can see many such application in our training program which are more practical oriented, easy to learn. If any one of you are serious in learning, of course, you are welcome to reach out to me or my team. You can see the WhatsApp number mentioned there. Anyone watching live, do you have any questions? You can always type in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a nice evening. Bye.